Hello, everybody, and welcome to our demonstration of AnyOLAP, analytical processing of arbitrary data-intensive applications without ETL. Now, to understand AnyOLAP, we have to look at how the typical data analysis workflow looks like, and it typically looks like the following. We have a data-intensive application, and this application is constantly producing some kind of results. These results are eventually extracted, for instance, in the form of a CSV file, then potentially being transformed in terms of data cleaning, for instance, and eventually being loaded again into some kind of analytical database management system. And only then the actual analysis and interpretation of the results can happen. As you can see here, this ETL pipeline is the dominant part of this entire pipeline. And the question is whether we can actually get rid of it altogether. So what we actually want to have is only the data-intensive application, and while it is producing its results, we want to analyze these during runtime already. And that's exactly the idea of AnyOLAP. Now let's look a little bit at the technical concept behind it. We have some kind of data-intensive application, and AnyOLAP essentially attaches to it in form of a so-called interpose library. Now, if an allocation is happening in that host application, it is essentially served by physical memory that is under control by us. Now, if the host application is filling the memory with data, it's essentially filling our memory, and this allows us to create virtual snapshots on this data. Now, these snapshots are also stable, so if writes are happening in the host application, then they do not become visible in our snapshots. So there's a copy on write mechanism working in place. And this allows us to essentially perform analysis on these virtual snapshots directly. Now, a task could be to compute the sortedness, for instance, of an array that is currently being sorted by our host application. And this analysis task could look like this. It essentially runs over the array and computes the current sortedness. And exactly this will be now utilized in the actual demonstration. So for instance, we can select here quicksort to analyze, select it. We have two modes we can select from. We choose automatic mode in this first variant, and then set accordingly a snapshotting frequency, let's say 1 second. Then we select the analysis task. Here we select the one we discussed before and start the analysis. What you see here is directly the interception of the host application. There's no output or something happening like this. We can see that indeed every second a new snapshot is generated and the analysis task is carried out. We see that the sortedness is computed, and we also see that it increases over time. So that's the intended behavior here. And we can also see the write accesses that we were able to track here. These are the violet markers here to know what's going on in our application. Let's see automatic mode. Let's have a look at how the interactive mode looks like at the case of radic sort this time. You can see that this take snapshot bar pops up here. Let's again select the sortedness and start the analysis. We can see now that radic sort is apparently using multiple memory areas internally. We can see from the access pattern that this seems to be the working area. So we select it here and trigger the creation of a snapshot. And you can see that the snapshot pops up here and the current sortedness is 49%. So let's wait a little bit and trigger the creation of another snapshot. And here it comes. Okay, the sortedness is still 49%, so not much progress was made. That makes sense because radic sort takes a long time because of the recursion to actually generate a more or less sorted data set. Okay, here it's already 54%, so we made some progress. Let's take another snapshot. Okay, and here it's already 98%, so we know that our algorithm is almost finished, and here it has finished. In the actual on-site demonstration, we won't only look at simple sorting applications, but also more sophisticated applications from the HPC area. So we look forward to see you at VLDB 21, and thanks for the attention.